Hi, I welcome you all to this lecture series on hypothesis testing. In this lesson, we are going to understand the concept of hypothesis and hypothesis testing, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, one-tailed and two-tailed test. So let me put in context. There is a batsman, his name is Rahul. He claims that his batting average is 65. So obviously, in order to believe him that he is telling truth, what we will do, we will ask him to play certain matches. He played 3 matches and you found that his batting average is 45. What are you going to do? Are you going to believe him that he is telling truth? The claim that he is making that his batting average is 65 is true? I believe that you will not agree with him because there is a big difference between 65 and 45. Okay. Let me create another scenario. The scenario is that he played a few more matches and you found that his batting average is 63. Obviously, you are going to believe now that the claim that he is making that is true. Then next concept that what makes you to believe that Rahul claim is true. So obviously you have to decide on a cutoff score above which that you are going to accept that his claim is true, or if his that a score falls below the particular cutoff score, that means the claim that he is making that is not true. Okay, he is just faking. Okay, you see. So it is like 65. 65x stands for that is a sample mean number of matches that he played and mean of those mean score of those matches. This is the claim. Claim is represented by the symbol that is called mu. He claims that his batting average is 65. So what you are going to do? You are going to compare the population mean and the sample mean. Lesser the distance, it is good. More the distance, that is not expected. That means that is the claim is likely to be false. So what happens in the second scenario when his batting average is 62 or 63? That means that you will fall in the rejection in the acceptance region. This is the acceptance region. These are the acceptance region. If you see, this is the acceptance regions. Okay, you are going to accept if the score falls above 65. If the mean score falls like in this region, that you are not going to accept his claim if it falls lesser than 60. Suppose Rahul is your close friend and you do not want to reject him because you know that he is a good player or whatever may be, but he is not playing well. What you are going to do? But you want to accept him. In this case, what you are going to do? Obviously, you are going to change the cutoff score. Cutoff score that you want to make the cutoff score that is okay. This cutoff score, what you are going to do? You want to reduce. You want to reduce it to 35. Okay, that means you are going to decide on a low cutoff score. When cutoff score is reduced, remember the first scenario. In the first scenario, what you have found, the score was 40. Now you are going to conclude that the claim that he is making is true. Okay. So this cutoff score is very often subjective. It depends on the investigators who is that doing the that uh, hypothesis testing. Okay. But here you are going to commit certain kind of mistakes that is called statistical error in hypothesis testing. Okay. So there are two kinds of errors that you can expect at this time, at this stage, that investigators may commit certain kind of errors. Okay. So type 1 error and type 2 errors. Type 1 error is the false positive errors when or the investigator rejects a null hypothesis. When the investigators rejects a null hypothesis, okay, that is actually true in populations. That means we are rejecting the truth. And in case of type 2 error, what happens? So this is called false negative. So the investigator fails to reject the null hypothesis that is actually false. In the second case, what happens? This has to be rejected because this is a very low score. 40 is a very low score. But what happens that you are going to give the benefit of doubts to Rahul. Maybe today is a bad day. He is not able to play, or he is not well, or he is not in good form. Okay, like that you are going to justify for his poor performance and you want to accept him. This is a kind of error that we must be very much careful when we are doing hypothesis testing. Okay. So there are some of the popular claims made by Indian manufacturers. So children who drink the health drink Complan are likely to grow taller. If you drink Horlicks, you can grow taller, stronger, and sharper. This is 3 in 1. Wearing perfume or using perfume such as Axe will help to attract the opposite gender, popularly advertised as the Axe effect. Smokers are better sales people. These are some of the claims made by the Indian manufacturers. How are you going to believe these companies? So how are you going to test? You see, first of all, you have to understand your populations. What is your population? Population means your totality. It tells about your totality. Okay, and this sample is the representative of the populations. So that you must have gone through the different kinds of sampling techniques, and based on the appropriate uh, n- like populations, and depending on your research designs, you have to use the right sampling technique and also right size. That sampling size you have to select in order to test the hypothesis. Take the case of first example. Okay. First claims that children who drink the health drinks Complan are likely to grow taller. This is a claim made by Complan. Okay. What you are going to do, you have to prepare two groups of people, children, okay, of a particular age group. So to one group you can give everyday Complan drinks. Another group, you are not required to give them Complan drinks. You can make a comparison whether they are growing in heights or not. There will be difference in mean. Average, there will be difference of mean. This difference is natural. Okay. But the difference between the mean of two groups of children, is that difference significant that you have to test it. Okay. So let us discuss about null and alternative hypothesis. Null and alternative hypothesis are represented by the symbol. This is null is h sub 0, and alternative hypothesis is this is called like this is alternative hypothesis. This is null hypothesis. Okay. So what is the meaning of null hypothesis? Null hypothesis states that the null condition exists. That means nothing new comes up. There is nothing new happening. The old theory is still relevant. It is true. The old standard is correct. The system is in control. Please be remembered. On the other hand, alternative hypothesis states that the new theory is true. That means it is challenging the existing theory. Okay, existing, that means system. There is there is there are new standards. The system is out of control, and or something is happening. In short, null hypothesis is the claim that is assumed to be true initially. Take the case of Rahul. Okay, the case of Rahul tells the null and alternative hypothesis can be framed like this. So this is called null, this is called null, this is called alternative hypothesis. So in that case, so mu is equal to greater than 65, equal to greater than 65. That means you are going to accept Rahul if his batting average is equal to or greater than 65, and you are not going to accept him if it is less than 65. Okay. This is what we talked about. So how to formulate null and alternative hypothesis? The claim that needs to be considered as truth becomes the alternative hypothesis. These claims can be altogether a new claim. Okay, actually this alternative hypothesis tells about the direction of the tail. These claims can be altogether a new claim or an or a claim against the existing truth. For example, 1 kg packet of salt consists of 900 grams of salt. What is the theory? The theory behind is that 1 kg packet of salt should contain 1 kg salt. But whereas another claim has been made that it is not 1 kg, rather it is 900 grams. Therefore, it has to be alternative. Okay. This claim is against an existing truth. The new claim will be doing, suppose the another claim can be like this, like pranayam yoga for pranayam or yoga for 30 minutes a day reduces LDL cholesterol by 20 points. This needs to be tested. Okay. These kinds of claims will become an alternative hypothesis and denoted by the symbol H sub 0. This is sub 0. Okay. The opposite of alternative hypothesis becomes null hypothesis. For example, 1 kg packet of salt consists of 1 kg salt. This is null hypothesis. Note that this depicts the default state of 1 kg salt in the real world. Okay. A few more examples. A realtor claims that the average price of an apartment in Bhubaneswar city is more than INR 50 lakhs. The hypothesis in this scenario will be, this is a new claim. When a claim is made, the direction of the tail has to be at the right side. This is the alternative hypothesis, because this is the claim. What is the claim? The claim is it is more than. The claim is it is more than. You can see more than. So therefore, alternative hypothesis is more than. The rejection will take place at the right place. You can see. Okay. This is the alternative hypothesis. This is the null hypothesis. Okay. Similarly, let us see a few more. So there is one like Telegram users. Average age of active global Telegram user is 29. So what happens when it is more than 29 and less than 29? That means that you are going to reject. So it has to be exactly 29. If it is less than 29, you are going to reject, and if it is more than 29 also, you are going to reject. With, you have to see how much difference that you can accept. Difference you can accept, but how much you can, what should be the cutoff? Okay. So let us see this. So these are the one-tailed and two-tailed. You can see. This is the scenario, first scenario, Rahul scenario that we have given. So this is the null hypothesis, that mu equal to or greater than 65, and alternative hypothesis is mu is less than 65. Obviously, this is a left direction. This is the left direction. So this is left tail test. This is left tail test. Okay. So in the second case, where a realtor claims that average price of an apartment in Bhubaneswar city is more than 50 lakhs. So it has to be rejected at the right side. It is called right tail test. Okay. Let us remember this is one tail, because rejection is taking place at the one side. This is one side. This is left side and right side. So obviously this is left side, left tail test. This is right tail test. Okay, rejection is taking at the left side. This is also taking place at the right side. Okay. So how do that identify whether it is a left tail or right tail? Simple, you can see this is the claim that is made. Okay, this is against the existing theory. What we talked about, 1 liter of bottle should contain 1 liter of oil, kind of thing, certain kind of liquids. Okay. If it is less than, it's a new claim. Obviously, what the theory should tell? The theory should tell that if it is 1 liter, it should contain 1 liter. Okay. So when a new claim is coming, so when it challenges the existing claim. So since this is the new claim, the existing claim has to be like this. Okay. So you have to identify the directions of the alternative hypothesis. If it is at the right side, you see this is right side greater than, so therefore it is right side. Okay. So third scenario, you can see the Telegram users, average age of Telegram users, global active Telegram user is 29 years. Okay. So that means it is not telling that whether it is more than or less than, it is telling equal to. Average active user Telegram user is 29 years. So in this case, what happens? It is equal to, not equal to. If it is less than 29, you are going to reject. If it is more than 29, you are going to reject. Okay. So for this rejection area, this is called 5% or 0.05 level of significance. Okay. That means there is a 5% chance of rejection. This is the 5% chance of rejection. This is 5%. 5% chance of rejection. Okay. But there is also chance of accepting the null hypothesis. It is 95%. Acceptance level is these sides. This is also, if you see, this is 95, this is 95%, this is 95%, and here it is 5%. But in this scenario, we can see, in this scenario, you can see, when it is 5%, in case of Z test, it has to be like cutoff has to be 1.645. This side, left side has to be minus, okay, but this side has to be plus 1.645. I am writing in mouse, okay, 1.645. Understood? So this, when it becomes two tail test, this is one directional. You can see one tail test is always one direction because rejection is taking at the one side, whether it has to be left side or it has to be right side. It is at the left side, this is at the right side. But in case of two tail test, you can see rejection is taking place at both the sides. You can see. So this 5% that we talked about, this can be also 1% or 10%, but 5% is the standard. Normally it is given. Okay. So in case of 5%, this 5% has been divided into, or 0.05%, 0.05 is divided into 2's. This becomes 0.025, and this side also 0.025. Okay. So here your Z critical or critical value is becoming, in this case it is 1.645 plus minus, and in this case, okay, so this has to be minus 1.96. Okay, minus 1.96. You can see this is, if those, this is the rejection area, this is the rejection area, these are the rejection area. If the test statistics falls in this area, that means you are going to reject the null hypothesis. If it falls in this area, you are going to accept. Okay, this is one. So these are the fundamental things that we must understand, that how to develop this one tail and two tail test by looking into the context. Okay. So let us recap what we have discussed. That we have discussed the concept of hypothesis. Basically, this hypothesis is the assumption that, or the popular claim made by different manufacturer or the researcher, or uh, that certain different companies, that the claims that they make or the assumptions they make, that need to be tested. The assumptions are always tested. That assumptions need to be tested. Okay. Then we discuss about like concept of H0 and H1. This is null hypothesis we discussed. Like what null hypothesis tells about. Null hypothesis tells that null condition exists. Existing theory is true. Okay. The system is within control. But whereas H1 is challenging the existing, that means the current condition is not correct. System is out of control. The existing theory is not relevant. So it is just questioning. So basically, when we identify the tail, we also discussed about one tail and two tail. One tail is one directional, two tail is two directional. So rejection is taking place at one side, whether it is left side or whether it is right side, or right sides, or it can be also two sides. Can be also two sides. How can we identify the right tail? Okay, or the tail of a particular kind of hypothesis testing? Basically, we can refer to H1, in which direction H1 is presenting, so accordingly we can identify the tail. So that's for the lessons. Thank you.